In this episode, long term equals the short term, and the big biceps equals the little tiny calves. Work those legs, punk ass. 602 coming at you. Oh.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 602 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, nipplecast, chestcast, mancast, yokecast, pumpcast, jackcast, and beastcast, and gorillacast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Flex Friday, so get up on it. Get on it. It's Papa Swole, yo, getting yoked like it ain't no joke. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 602. Thank you. And thank you for letting me flex on you, Everest and K2. I need to get some gorilla grunting videos. I think everyone, in addition to sending in video questions, should be sending in gorilla grunts to askpapaswolio@gmail.com. Remember, we're going to get into that in a second. We're going to get into the next video question. I'm going to be banging out a couple of those. Oh my goodness, it's good. It is good. The God of Gains is great. I had a great pump yesterday. I'm looking forward to an amazing pump today. I always have a great pump. Even when I don't have a great pump, it's not a bad pump. It's just a good pump. So I either have great pumps or I have good pumps. You know, you have to, it's shifting your mind, man, shifting your mind. Let's get to, before we get to the question of the day, remember everyone, click the link in the post description so you can sign up for my best year ever workshop. It's a live, online, free training workshop, and it is going down this Monday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. There are several times available, but the first time is launching at Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so everyone can get on board with that. So click the link in the post description and register now to save your spot. I am going over some key, and I'm telling you, key aspects and key attack points for your new year. And I personally break my year up into smaller segments, but this is how I approach a new goal. This is how I approach a new method or a new vision. This is how I approach my tactical portions of the year. And what better time than January 1st. And you know I am not one for resolutions. We talked about that. Fuck resolutions. But there is no better time because a lot of you are ready. You're ripe and ready to be picked, and you're ready to focus. You're ready to get your shit on. And now the holidays and all that mumbo jumbo is in the past. It's in the past. We are looking forward. And 2018 is going to be an amazing year. And like I say, every day is a chance to have the great next year. So every day is the start of your year. So let's get that going. And I am doing that live training workshop Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it. Be there. I can't wait to see you. Best year ever workshop, link in the post description. So I'll see you there. Now, for the video question of the day, this one's from Alex Shendra, and he's from India. I love this guy. He's been a huge supporter. Let's check out his question. Give it to me, baby.
Yo, sick fucking gains, bro. Anyways, how do you balance volume or intensity?
Oh my, sick fucking gains, bro. Dude, sick fucking gains for sure. You're actually making progress. I can see those arms bumping a little bit. How do you balance volume and intensity? Great question, AJ. Volume and intensity go hand in hand, but the problem with a lot of, training fads right now, aka cross shit, is that volume and intensity go parallel, and that's not true. Your volume should be inverse with your intensity. The more intense your training, you should back up with the volume because you risk overtraining. And I hear so much shit, there's no such thing as overtraining, blah, blah, blah. I doubt that because I have felt overtraining. And don't tell me there's no such thing as over fucking training. It's just relative to what your experience is, what your body can handle. Everyone's different. There are people that can run ultra marathons that run for like 100 miles in a single fucking stretch. Not the majority of the population, right? Am I right? I don't care how much you train. very few people can actually pull that off successfully for a long term. So there's always those outliers, but there's definitely overtraining. There's definitely that point, that breaking point for each person. So if your training intensity is higher, and let's define intensity. Intensity doesn't mean that you're out of breath, you're exhausted at the end of a workout. Intensity from a weight training standpoint is a percentage of your 1 repetition max. So if you are getting closer to the amount of weight you can lift only one time, that is a higher percentage, that's a higher intensity, that is a greater percentage of your 1 repetition max. Of course, if you're doing like metabolic workouts, getting closer and working, in your max heart rate range, that could be viewed as intensity as well. So intensity is relative to the style of training that you're doing. But the higher the intensity, you are going to need to shorten the volume and less volume. Otherwise, you risk breaking down the muscles, not being able to recover between sets, not being able to recover between subsequent workouts, and then thus you can lead towards overtraining and elevated heart rate and illness and maybe injury and prolonged soreness and all those other physiological and psychological results of overtraining. So if your intensity is getting greater and you're increasing your intensity, lifting heavier weights, heavier, let's say failure sets and lifting heavier and your maximum repetitions might be 6 to 8 instead of 15, you're increasing the intensity of your training. You need to slowly back off on the volume and don't overdo it, at least at the beginning, because you can back off on the volume and then slowly, as your body adapts, increase the volume gradually until you go through like a deloading week. So make sure that at least at first, when you increase your intensity, you're backing up on the volume. That way your body can adapt and you avoid overtraining or adding too much overload in one fell swoop. And that's a big problem. A lot of people just do it all at once and they get hurt. But if you seesaw it a little bit, offset it, increase the intensity and then pull back on the volume, and then over time you gradually increase the volume, then your body can adapt to that intensity and then work up on the volume, the amount of sets, the amount of, overall sets you're doing in the workout. And that's a much safer way to progress into a higher intensity rather than just, hey, let me do a lot harder and a lot more of it. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Am I right? All right. All right. Right. Well, thank you, Alex Chandra. I appreciate your video question. Remember, everyone else that's watching or listening, if you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, you can always get in on the game here, but especially those of you that are on Facebook and YouTube, make sure you send in your video questions to askpapaswolio@gmail.com. That's askpapaswolio@gmail.com to get your video question featured here on the show. So today's episode is 602 long-term equals short-term. The long-term approach is the short-term. And yesterday we talked about the vision, formulating your vision, really getting the detail. And I really want to hear in the comments, if you didn't comment on yesterday's episode, drop in the comments right now if you did your homework, if you actually worked on formulating your vision, if you sat in the dark or put some headphones on, or just, I want you to close your eyes in the shower. I want you to think about what everything looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like where you are. Literally go into your future self with your goals reached, with what you want to accomplish. And I want you to feel and see your entire future with those long-term goals as one big puzzle piece. That's very important. The long-term is the short-term. And let me explain what that means, the title of this episode. The long-term equals the short term because the short term equals the long term. That's like fucking algebra, right? That's like 2x plus b equals and whatever shit that is. Long term equals the short term because the short term equals the long term. It has to. If one equals one, the other equals the other. It's just you're reversing the equation. And the long term is just a product of your short term. Your short term is the daily, the weekly, the monthly. The long term might be the yearly or the decades. But you cannot deny the fact that what you do in the short term, like today, Friday, episode 602 day. Remember, today is 602 AD, 602 after daily. We're not doing, Anno Domini or whatever it is. We're doing after daily. That's what this is. And I gauge my time. I don't even look at the calendar anymore. I think, oh man, it's episode 602. When did we go to the beach that day? Was that 512 or was that 475? I literally mark my life based around the episode of the Daily Swole. I don't talk about months or years. Like I really have my gauge of time is based on the Daily Swole. Actually, I want to know that. If anyone else, drop in the comments. Do you? I mean, have you at any point, recalled a memory or had a conversation where you referenced something and you related it to what day or what number of the Daily Swole that came out? Like, have you ever used the relativity of time with the number of the Daily Swole? I do, because every episode's a day without skipping a beat. So I do that a lot. I thought that was funny. I just wanted to share. But what you do every day. So what you do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what you do on, for example, right? Episode 602, this episode right now is built upon the back of episode 1 to 601. It really is. It really is, because everything that I've done, everything has been for the past 601 and now 602 episodes is just built. It's a building block. It's like building a pyramid. You didn't just build from the top down, you built from the bottom up, and all those bricks build and make the pyramid. So today's episode is just a product of everything. So where we all are now as a family, as a community, where Swolenormous is as a brand, Swolenormous X exists, and where Premium is, and where everything is because of everything that's happened along the way with episode 10, 25, 312, 315, and it's just every episode's a day. So every block, every one builds to today. And the same thing goes with your life. What you do today is going to add up to what you have tomorrow. And the problem or the challenge, the difficulty, the struggle with fitness is that you're thinking about the short term in the wrong way. A lot of times that's what happens. You think about now in the wrong way. You're thinking about now and the struggle now. Oh, it's so hard now. Or, oh, I really want that. The craving you have now. Or, oh, I don't have time to work out now. That doesn't throw you off. It's one fucking day. You do the best you can today because that's all you can do, but just do it. Don't make an excuse and say, oh, well, this is the best I can and slack off. Do the best you can today and then focus on doing the best you can tomorrow. Prepare stuff today so you can crush tomorrow. That's what meal prep is. That's what scheduling your time so you can make it to the gym, doing yoga. If you literally can't make it to the gym, you fucking do stuff at home. You're always working on something. You're always moving forward. And each one of those days, think about it, like my arms, the way I look, my physique, that didn't happen because I worked hard last couple weeks. That's because I've been fucking training hard for like the last 17, 18 years. And I played baseball and like I was been active my whole life, but it's accumulation of everything I've done my entire life. Everything I've done my entire life is building and has created the physique I have now. All those workouts in college and those workouts when I graduated college. And I think about individual workouts, but all the ones I forget. I don't remember every fucking workout. I have little images and glimpses and memories of individual moments, but I think about it. Shit, how many fucking times have I worked out? How many workouts have I had? Let's say I take 2 days off a week. Let's just say I did, right? So that's 20 workouts a month times 12. What's that? 240 workouts a year times, that's thousands of workouts. And it's just, I don't remember every single one, but each one of them built what I have now and have created the knowledge and the understanding. And all the things I've done along the way help me relay that to you. And there's a lot of stuff goes on in your life. But my point is, you are an accumulation. You are built upon everything you've done so far. So the short term is going to equal your long term. And if you put that into your vision, you got a fucking recipe for success that can't be stopped by anyone. You are the only one that can stop yourself. And now is the time to realize that and get the fucking train going. So what you're going to do right now is, if you have not already, you're going to click the link in the post description and you're going to sign up for my best year ever workshop going down next week. Get in it. It's awesome. It's literally my approach. I'm going to walk you through the steps that I do and the mindset that I have going into 2018. It's going to get you on the right foot. If you're on the right foot, it's going to fucking amp you up. It's 110% free, and it'd be my honor for you to join me because it's going to be live Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to run an absolute train on 2018. Join me. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 602 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, and Visioncast. Buzz Lightyear in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, a Papa Swolio, out.